Paul, congratulations on being inducted into the California Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much.
As you think back in your wrestling career, what individual had the greatest impact?
You know, it's awful hard to narrow it down to one person as far as the greatest person who had an impact. I think through different stages of my life and different stages of my career, different people had different impacts on me. If I probably had to choose one person, I'd probably have to come back to my father, because he was probably there the longest, the most enduring. And he was there from the beginning to the end. He's here tonight. So, he made a lot of sacrifices and dedication for me to have the best in the sport of wrestling and for me to have the opportunities. And so I would probably say that, he probably had the biggest impact on my wrestling career.
Did he wrestle?
He wrestled his junior and senior year in high school. That was the first 2 years that they brought wrestling into his high school when he was in school. So he did wrestle. And, he was a big sports guy. And, he's always been my number one fan. But I think more than anything, he taught me a work ethic and a dedication to the sport. He taught me how to appreciate the sport, how to love the sport, and how to work for the gains that you get in the sport.
That's great qualities. Did you have a wrestling idol when you grew up, or somebody you emulated?
It was funny. The first wrestling idol I had, I went to a dual meet with my dad when I was a little kid. I was in junior high, maybe even elementary school, and I remember a guy named Greg Schumann. He was a team captain at my high school, Athens High School, and when I went to the dual meet, he got to go out into the middle of the mat and lead all the other guys in warm-ups, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. And I just always, all the dual meets I went to, he was the team captain, and I just remember growing up thinking, man, I want to be that guy like him out in the middle of the mat. So, when I got in high school, Shorty Hitchcock is from my area, and so I've always loved Shorty and seen what he did and tried to emulate his, and so those probably were the two biggest growing up.
I can see that. What part of your personality or personal characteristics that you have drove you to be a national champ in wrestling, and now obviously a very successful coach in college as well?
Honestly, I think wrestling shaped my personality. I think wrestling gave me my personality that I have today. I don't think my personality fit wrestling. I think wrestling fit my personality. Wrestling's one of those great sports. I try to always tell people I'm a really nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy, but you put wrestling shoes on, you go inside the room, and nice guys don't do well in there. So you have to be driven, and again, I probably go back to my dad. I learned at an early age that hard work pays off, and if you don't work hard, you don't reap the rewards. And in a sport like wrestling, if you're not willing to put the time in and have a relentless pursuit, then good things aren't going to happen for you. So I really think that wrestling helped shape my life, helped me get an education, helped me be the man I am, helped me be the father I am, helped me be the person I am. I think I got my personality through wrestling, and the lessons and the sacrifices and the dedication that you have to make to the sport, very similar to the dedications you have to make in a marriage or to be a father or, just to live life.
I can see that. Is there one memory that really sticks out in your mind as the highlight of your wrestling career?
Graduating from college. I graduated from college. I graduated from Cal State Bakersfield with a BA in 1991, and I graduated with a master's in 1995. And without wrestling, I would have never done that. Without wrestling, I would have never gone to college. Without wrestling, I would have never got a master's degree. Without winning a state title or being good at wrestling, I might not have gotten the opportunities. But I'm probably more proud of graduating from college than I am being a national champion.
That's great to hear. As far as wrestling, you have events in your life, whether it be a match or a tournament or coaching teams. Is there one thing that sticks out in your mind as a highlight for you?
You know, since my career, I mean, winning a national title was great. That was a really big deal. You know, that was my own single accomplishment. I think as being a coach, you know, definitely winning my first state championship as a coach, you know, that's a little bit different feeling than an individual. You know, I've been fortunate to win 7 state titles as a coach, and, you know, to me, they're all like children, and they're all special, and they all mean something special. And so, you know, I guess maybe the single biggest event in my life as far as wrestling is getting hired at Fresno City College as a full-time teacher and instructor in 2006. That's something that I think, you know, has been a blessing for me. It's been a great thing. I worked really hard to try to get a job like that, and I think I have the best job in the world. So happy to have it.
Yeah, and you've been doing a great job with it, too.
Thank you.
What got you involved in wrestling? You said your dad wrestled a little bit.
You know what? When I was in 3rd grade, announcements came over at the end of the school day, and they said, YAD wrestling sign-ups, come to the office and pick up a sheet. And my buddy who sat next to me said, hey, let's do that. I said, okay. So we picked up a sheet, and I went home, and my dad signed it, and the only stipulation he said was I couldn't quit. I had to stick out the season. And that was in 3rd grade, and I haven't looked back since. I just been keep doing it.
Were you successful right off the bat?
I was. Actually, I was. I've always been really good at wrestling. I've always had a lot of success, and I think that kind of drove me. And, you know, my first year I won the AAUs, and I've always had a lot of success in wrestling. So
That helps motivate.
that helps. Yes, it does. That helps.
If you've had the opportunity to start your career over, and you know you still have a lot of miles ahead of you, but is there anything at this point that you would do over?
Probably not. You know, I think life happens for a reason, and things happen for a reason. And, you know, without some of the bad things maybe in my life, I don't think I would have enjoyed some of the good things. So I have really no regrets. I guess if I could do one thing over, I would probably, I was young. You know, my birthday's in September, so my senior year in high school, I was 17 when I graduated. I went to college as a 17-year-old young man, and I guess if I could probably do one thing over, I'd like to get held back in school a year so that I could be a little more physically mature and not take so many beatings that I took when I went to college.
I did the same thing. As a 17-year-old starting as a freshman at University of Missouri, you take your lessons.
You take your lessons.
What would you like people to remember about you? Now, I know you're still coaching. You're not finished with your career, but I'm sure you've had a chance to reflect on that.
You know, I want people to take me at face value. I want people to understand that, you know, no one gave me anything in my life. I earned everything that I had, and I'm very appreciative of it. And, you know, I want people to know that I'm a fair coach, and, you know, I believe in hard work and discipline, and I believe in our sport of wrestling. I really believe that our sport really does wonders for people, and I hope through my coaching that I've helped kids like people have helped me. You know, that's kind of my goal in wrestling. You know, there's been some great people who have helped me get to where I'm at, and I want to be that person to help other kids get to where they want to get to.
Yeah, that's so important too, because it's you go through the up and downs of a career. If you're not in it for the right reasons, you know,
Right.
you're just in it to try to win.
Absolutely.
You know, you get burnt out. And you
Yep.
can't keep doing it.
And I think sometimes a lot of people get misconstrued on the scoreboard. I think we put too much emphasis on the scoreboard and not enough emphasis in being a leader, being a person, being proud of your accomplishments, you know, regardless of what the scoreboard says.
I would agree with you.
So
Probably one of the reasons why you're being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I hope so.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.